Okay, so let's talk about for a moment some of the campaigns you've done as activists. Some of them have worked out, some have not. Chipotle has seems to have worked out, but you did a couple that were difficult ones. So Herbalife or Valiant, they didn't work out. What would you say is the mistake you made in hindsight, and that you would try to avoid in the future?
Sure. So there's sort of 8 principles that have driven our investment success. And when we have veered from those 8 principles, we've lost money. And after the 2000, we went through a very difficult period, circa 2015, 2016. The two investments you mentioned were big drivers of that. It was if you will, experiences making mistakes and learning from them. And it was a moment of reflection for the firm. And I went back to the core principles that have driven our success for the first 12 years. And I had a member of the investment team literally engrave them in a stone tablet, not dissimilar from Moses's 10 Commandments. And I had that stone tablet put in a what you might call a deal toy, sits on everyone's desk in the office. And we've adhered to those principles, ever since. And we've been fortunate to return to the success we had for the first dozen years. So I think it's about keeping to our principles are basically: one, invest in simple, predictable, free cash flow generative, dominant companies with large barriers to entry that earn high returns on capital, that have limited exposure to extrinsic risk we can't control, strong balance sheets, don't need access to capital to survive, have excellent management, good governance. Sounds logical, but occasionally we've diverged, and there's those times. There's a certain discipline that comes with investments, and there always seems to be a countervailing quality that caused us to diverge. But in really each case where we've compromised on business quality or complexity, we've been harmed from an investment standpoint.
To be an activist investor, my impression is you have to be a fairly tough person. You can't be a shy, retiring person because people are going to criticize you. So, did you develop a thick skin relatively early? And do you feel okay being confrontational at times, or is that a problem because you're just not your personality?
Sure, I'm generally not a confrontational person. I had my one little episode with Carl Icahn on CNBC that had got a fair amount of attention. I didn't actually choose to debate Carl Icahn on television. To the credit of the network, they they brought him on in the middle of an interview like this one, where we both had an opposing point of view. On an investment, I do think it's a strategy that requires a thick skin. But I think anyone who takes high profile positions, not just on investments, but on any issue, particularly at this moment in history, is going to get slammed by one side of the debate. It's the inherent nature of a divisive country, and fairly strong opinions on both sides. But I've always had the view that if you take a public strong position that you have a lot of conviction in, you're guaranteed, and no one pays attention, that maybe there isn't that much substance to what you have to say. So I guess I take it as favorable, and can also often be instructive to hear the opposing point of view, as long as it's not an ad hominem criticism. I have no objection to someone taking the opposing point of view at all.